I did not. We're good to go? Yep. Well, welcome everyone to our, today's Wednesday afternoon, 8:12, budget meeting for Yankton County. Please, join me in, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah.
We have an agenda.
Oh, shoot. No, it's not really.
Let's, we'll open up with, I don't have the agenda in front of me at the moment. Patty went to get a copy of it, so we'll open up with public comment. Anyone wish to comment before we get started today? Seeing none, public comment is closed. She's not even here to take roll. Any conflicts of interest by any of the commissioners?
I do not.
I do not.
I do not. I didn't ever memorize the,
I don't think you have to read through the whole thing, but I
we
make a
already had probably.
motion to approve the agenda. I did wanna, if we could take a brief second, if we wanted to do something with it, well, I'll just approve the agenda as presented, so won't add anything.
Got a motion by Dan to approve our agenda for today,
Second.
seconded by Don. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. You want to quick take a roll, Patty?
Sure. Dan,
Here,
Don,
Here.
Wanda, here, Ryan,
Here.
John.
Here. Probably before we get too involved, Don and Patty have been working diligently over the last 10, 12 days to put together a spreadsheet on our budget proposal for 2027. And I think it warrants that they kind of go through and explain where we're at the moment.
We have several different documents for you to look at. The first one that I'm passing out is one that I prepared, taking the information directly off the proposed budget by each of the department heads. So if you see in the column, the far right column is what the proposal is. And it was either that given by the director, department head, or Patty filled it in based on previous history. If it's left blank, there's nothing in there, but there's an expense to come in there. So that one's just kind of showing it. The thing that I like about that is I look at it and I see when the request and the proposed and the approved are all actually exactly the same. Somebody ain't doing any work. I'm looking at what they can do to cut expenses or improve service to the customer. So that's just kind of a worksheet that you might put on the side, and we'll go with that. Now, the next one is this one here with
this one, this one.
yeah.
Okay.
And Patty prepared that, and it's from the same document, I think, Patty, right?
When we're saying this one here, which is this one here?
This was the first one.
That's the first one. I don't have a second one.
In the seats.
That's right. hard for me to follow along.
I got two here,
That's probably why.
taking yours.
Huh? Hoarding.
Well, you weren't here on time, so we figured
Well-
we better make use of it.
I get that, but when I texted someone, they told me it was at 7, not at 4.
Not here.
Yeah, and I'm like going,
Back to your text message, see if that's what it says.
and it doesn't matter. So we called just to double check and went, oh crap, I'm on my way.
Okay, so this document here has, what, came from the proposed budgets from the department heads. And Patty, and I, worked on the proposed column. Yeah, they didn't put anything in. So they may not be getting what they asked. You can find out what they asked for on this sheet, on this one here. This one is what we're suggesting, to start looking at the budget.
Okay, just,
This one is what they requested. That
who's
27,
the they?
the department has.
Okay,
Or in the very first top part of it is the Boys and Girls Club, Yankton Transit. They've been here and presented. And that's what they're requesting under the 2027 proposed budget.
and are they under commissioners
Can we,
instead of commissions?
can we start there? And I,
Commission. Sorry.
Mr. Chair,
No, that's all right, but Earth. 'Cause
Time out,
We're
time out.
gonna give it, right?
Time out, let's run it through us.
Yeah.
Mr. Flemish
Yeah.
has the floor.
I appreciate the Boys and Girls Club. I think it does a great job. My kids have gone there. We originally went from 10,000 to 35 when they were doing diversion.
Let's
for-
not even get into
Well-
the individual budgets yet.
I think we're here, aren't we?
We'll
Well-
talk to about every one of them, but let's do it in order. I think I'm gonna get to an amount that we need to have to balance the budget. According to me, according to the state, it's a little different, but,
And
I think that's the best way to do it.
I would
Okay.
like to know, because you constantly go
I can't
back
hear
to the
you,
budget. Sorry, you constantly go back to the budget, but I think what's the most important thing is what our expenditures are. So let's look at the budget of 2025 and the complete expenditures of 2025. Let's look at the budget and expenditures of 2026, because the expenditures is what counts. Because there's a lot of cases where in 2026, we budgeted for things we never did spend on. And so counts, and the budget is one thing, and what your expenditures is the real thing. And so
You
I
mean
really want to focus on
actual.
it.
That's the way it always is. That's
You
the
mean
way. it
actual.
always is.
Budgets are not, budgets are, your 2026 budget is a projection, is what you have allocated.
It's our best
for,
guess.
like a department.
Well, I'm gonna say, we're gonna have to look at that allocation thing.
That's
Because-
exactly what I want to
We
look
got
at, is the
department heads
allocation
spending
versus
over
this
their
expense, because that's
That's
your
not
real
allocated.
indication of where you can make cuts. Just looking at the budgets alone does not give you a great idea.
I think Mr. Heine and I are on the same page in that we're calling it the wrong thing instead of calling it budget. Call it actual expenditure.
So
Because what my budget is what I'm asking for
uh-huh.
and my expenditures are what I spent.
Would-
So I think it'd be easier for everybody to understand if we know what they spent.
I tend to agree with both of you or everyone here. The problem that I see, and and maybe it's just me. We're looking at we're looking at an expenditure for 2026 to base our 2027 budget on. That is only through July,
Yeah.
June 31st or June
There's
30th.
there's no July figures on these.
Right, so
No,
So we're trying to base a 2027 budget on expenditures through March of 2026.
And if you were on the financial committee,
no,
that's exactly a problem.
no.
You
That's
have to
not
look.
right. Those numbers are based on what we budgeted on for January 2026, starting January 26. The actual is what John's talking about.
And I guess if you wanted to do it that way, what I should have done instead of putting, have the 2026 budget, the original budget, and then the middle column should have been 2026 expenditures, and then the proposed
But
on the
that,
third column.
that doesn't make any sense at all. From the standpoint of, say, you budgeted to, buy some, for $100,000 in November, and you bring out the report saying you haven't spent any money, but it's not there yet. Your budgeted time's not there yet. So
That is,
your
that is
actual
another
doesn't mean
problem
that.
that has been addressed, and that's why you have to look, you can't look at just the previous year, you have to get a full, complete year. That's why I say go back to 2025, look at 2025, 2024, and we have to look at that. And we have to look at that history looking forward to help us guide us today.
And that's what we've done.
But that's not what I see here.
But
That's, I mean, you just have.
But Ryan,
2026
that's in
budget.
all of these sheets, that's in the
Yeah.
budget book.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's what's in the
So-
budget book. I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
not-
It's like,
It's not on here, but it is
Okay.
in
I don't
all these. So I
understand
get-
it at all.
But this-
He's talking about going back.
Yeah,
And if we're habitually, like, I'll give an example.
we aren't doing that.
but
Well, I am. I'll give you an example, like, one of the things I'm gonna propose, and you guys don't have these, I haven't especially printed out.
Yeah, they do.
One, okay,
I made
so
copies.
one area, and I talked with the sheriff about this, is we're budgeting 400,000 for juvenile detention. Our expenditures year to date are 166. 2025 actual, 149, 2024 actual, 285, 2023 actual, 179. So what I'm
And
saying,
you're exactly right. And what we want to use is that information to fill in this last column.
we should, and that's how I'm using it, and to both of your points.
so that, again, here, like here we have the actuals, and that's what, and I think Patty, you were catching it right there. Is we want actuals and budget. So we look at the budget, that's what we budgeted for, and what did we actually spend? And you look at those two things and you start to see where can we cut money? Where are things being under budgeted? Where are things being over budgeted?
Mr. Chair, if I may, what's been successful in the past
That's
with doing this.
Yeah.
Is we just open our book and we start going through line by line. We know what our projected revenue is. We know what our projected expenses are, and the way it always is that there's not enough money to pay for everything we want to do. So we start on page 1 and we go through each one of these, and if there's area we can trim,
And that's what we did.
we do that, yeah, and we do that. And we hope by the time we get through this, that there's always gonna be, at the end of the day, and Patty back me up, we're always gonna transfer some money from the general fund into some of these budgets. We're gonna have a contingency fund because I'll give Brian's office, he budgets so precise. If health insurance comes in at 27% and he calculated at 18, he's gonna be over. That's why we have that contingency fund. So we go through, to Ryan's point and Don's point, if we're, the juvenile detention budget, I think, is a great example. If we could cut $100,000 out of that and still not even come close in our highest year, which was 2024.
And that's what
That's
we're here
probably
to do
where-
today.
So, yeah.
We're here to pick out the ones
Yep.
that we can cut.
Yeah. So I would propose we start going through line by line and go through them all, or we could do it another way, but that's the way we've done it.
I just want to explain the worksheets so people
Yep.
understand.
Yep, I appreciate it. The worksheets are very helpful.
Okay, so we're all pretty clear on,
So if you go to the second page, where it has the proposed budget and the current budget, you go to the second page on the bottom, you'll see some numbers in red. In the general budget is, expenses are included in everything above. And what is available from the other sources of income, the highway and emergency management and other are what we're short on having a, what I would call a balanced budget. And that's about $2.5 million. Now that's, in my opinion, that's what we have to look at to try to determine if we're gonna actually balance it now. Patty, you know, there are sources of funds in that we have that, you know, we can cover it, we won't go broke. But in order to make expenses equal revenue, you gotta come up with $2.5 million.
Correct, budget.
More, is that you're talking
It's the
about,
budget
you
that
would
we're
like,
working on.
you would like
I can't agree.
2.5 million cuts to make the budget balance, but I don't think that covers the carryover that we're gonna have, because we're gonna have some carryover from this 2026 budget to the 20, and I understand where you're coming from.
That has nothing to do with the budget
But-
for this year.
I think it does, and the reason I say that is because that's been the case every single year. I think,
That's-
didn't you have?
That's what
something-
we've done forever.
But the reason is for example, like that 400,000 that we calculate for juvenile, if that's not spent, it goes back to the general fund. And I get where you're coming from, and in a business, it would be exactly that way. But in government, every year I've ever been on the commission, there is some of that funds that comes in here, and
And
it's
that's,
same with the
and
revenue.
that's why we're
Well,
going financially the direction that we've been going.
I think with the corrections though that we've made, we've righted the ship.
This doesn't tell you that, Dan.
But another example that isn't in here is the Marshall holds, which traditionally have been around $1 million. It might be a little less. That's not gonna be in here as revenue, and we shouldn't count for it because we can't, it's not a guarantee, but that has been the case for the last 10 years. And I get where you're saying. Patty, is that kind of what you're saying is it shouldn't, we can't classify it as revenue, but we know there's gonna be funds
Yeah.
that aren't expended that we use for the next year. And it's been, how long has it been that way? Probably every year you've been.
Yeah,
And
the
that,
state-
go ahead, Betty.
the state auditors have always told me, do not over budget or,
Cut.
no, don't over,
Exaggerate the revenue.
yes,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
don't know when it's gonna stop.
That's what the
Right.
Sheriff Valakas, he always told us this is a nice $1 million check we get in from Marshall's, but never depend on it, because one day it's not gonna be there. And that's
Okay.
why we can't count on it.
So when you get to the bottom line,
Mhm.
we come in and say, here are the things that can bring this budget back
I would agree.
to
I
a
would
budget.
agree. I would-
$1 million from the feds.
Mhm.
$500,000 from here, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever, and then I think we probably don't have to look at cutting $2.5 million out of here.
Yeah.
If we know that information is gonna happen, but if we don't know what's gonna happen, you budget for what the expenses are.
Yep, I agree with you.
And you have
that
to
we
be
should get that
prepared.
number down.
So if you get your budget to that point, even, and maybe you're
We
maybe
will.
relying on those funds, that's when throughout our year, next year, when we know those funds aren't coming in, we on the fly have to start cutting the budget. We have to cut the expense. And so we have to have the strength to then tell them. to
That's
cut
what
their
I'm saying.
expenses
We have
that
to
year.
cut the expense.
Yeah, so cutting the expenses is the real result of keeping us in line. This budget thing, we have to be accurate though, like
That's
we cannot,
exactly what I think.
we can't just cut it because we feel like we can make it cheaper, but we have to be realistic so that we know exactly what it's gonna cost to do what we need to do next year.
Cause if you cut, and you guys said, then we have to do a contingency transfer.
Hmm.
Because none of those departments can be in the red. So so if you cut here and, there might be some more contingencies this year because everybody cut their services by 10%. So there might be more transfers than usual. And we can't help what goes up, or, supplies are going up, and it's hard to, you just kind of have to go by what you spent.
Well, you gotta
through the year.
put inflation in there and every year, is it 1 year it's 9%, 1 year it's 5%?
I think we could maybe start with the budgets that are seeing the biggest increases, because we know from what Patty gave us, is it 3.4, 3.8 is what our budget's gonna go up.
You can't blame it all on Patty.
No, I'm not blaming it on 3.4 or
She's
3.8.
reading me out.
Yeah,
2.5 is
What?
what I did for,
See-
had everybody do for
Wages.
wages.
no, but
But
what is our,
three-
is it going 3.4 from what I heard, CPI plus
Yeah.
growth?
2.4.
So again, I think ideally, and this isn't gonna apply to everybody. A lot of the departments who rely primarily on wages hope, and that's gonna be less than that, they won't grow, but I would hope most departments' budgets wouldn't have increased more than 3.4%. That's not gonna be true with everybody, but the ones that have gone far above that, that's probably where we should start. In my opinion, but
And that's what you can tell off of that
Yeah.
sheet.
yeah,
I think another thing, when we go through these sheets, and this is what I do a lot in my sheet, in the sheets, I always mark things that aren't things that we have to spend on, but it's probably wise to budget for. And so we have to mark those things and like, okay, for example, in the equalization office, they have been operating down one person. We probably should include the budget for that one person, even if we don't expect to fill it. So that's monies that we probably won't spend out of our budget. But it'd be wise to keep that budget in there just in case it does become an issue. Because you have to recognize that you're trying to operate slimmer than normal. And
yeah, a little
if something
his-
hits, like we have a couple vacancies and she needs to start getting people in.
I just don't
That
want to
extra
try and
position,
fool
no.
the public. I want The public to know what's going on.
a little history on that position for those guys, and Don would remember this. That used to be Jeff, I forget his last name. He used to be the GIS guy. And for some reason, when Don and I were here, District 3 would do GIS for us for free, but for some reason the county had hired a GIS person. And then Don and I said, hey, District 3, will you do our GIS for free? And yes. And then after that position transitioned into another assessor, but for years and years, it was 5 assessors and they did just fine. And I really appreciate Michelle's willingness to do that. That's, I guess, a decision we can make, but
And I want you to understand that on this second page of this one here, down at the bottom, when it says total $11,911,000. That's not exactly what the department heads requested.
What is it? Just for some random number you just
That's
wrote?
the numbers on this other sheet.
Oh,
That's the proposed.
from this one.
That's the proposed.
On this one here. Okay.
that's a
So
decrease.
we've already cut quite a bit off of what,
It's lower from last year.
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like that's on this sheet. Yeah, this is just the request because like we haven't talked about the library yet, but we have never given them $24,000 in the history. I bet.
got here, Ryan.
They had on their sheet.
And that's what just, so there is some things in here that are definitely things that we have not approved and not cut.
well, I
And
don't,
that's today.
I don't see
Cut
that.
that out. Don't
Okay.
put it in there.
I'm just saying like this on that column, you're saying that this was already cut. It's like, no, this looks a lot like this column on this sheet. Looks a lot like exactly what has been proposed.
And I don't see
we
the
would
meat
cut
in
from
here
it.
at all.
So,
That's a historical.
No Kramer Kenyon is.
No, historic,
Mr.
So
Chair, we
yes.
keep going through.
It's the-
Yeah.
I think the only way we're ever gonna get through this is we just start through the departments, go through. If there's a little area we can trim, we get the new
Yeah,
numbers
this,
and we
this-
re-input it
this-
into
I'm sorry,
here.
this is
And
the-
then for Don's case, we hope
in
that
2000.
this number is less, the revenue.
No, I have.
We want to get the revenue and.
That's
so
No, Randy, that.
Yeah.
This bottom line of this number is gonna be less than,
Yeah,
when we're done today, that,
yeah. I just think how you eat an elephant is one bite at a time, and we just gotta start somewhere and proceed.
That's where we'll get, yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
So,
So then.
So we going through the book or going down the list?
I'd say we go through the book because
You can
now
look at
everything
it if
is,
you want. Patty's, people have gone through it. I've gone through it on the numbers that are on these sheets.
Well,
They're exactly.
But I
what
I guess if we have
I don't know what the
conversations. we
reasoning
could
behind
go
the
through
numbers
book.
are, you know,
That's just a total.
okay.
That's a total of the whole department. It's not an individual.
Mhm.
Let's take the first one in the book, commissioners.
Guess I'll start again. Again, I really do appreciate the Boys and Girls Club, but we had been giving them 10,000. We gave them more when it was time to do diversion, and they did a great job with that. They're not doing diversion for us anymore, but we're still paying them the 35.
well, the diversion is now going through the state's attorney's
Yeah.
office, so,
Yep. So
so
go back
that,
to what
that
it was.
money goes,
But
I hate to say it, it goes to Mr. Larson, but some of that
Yeah.
is funded by
so
bond forfeitures.
I'm not saying it's not a very worthy group. It definitely is, but the reason for that 25,000 increase was, I believe we got a grant.
I think it was a pledge that we made the previous year that we didn't fulfill.
I,
And we're trying to catch up on the pledge.
yeah, so
That's why it's that high.
do you remember what that was, Patty? I thought we got a grant, if I recall, because I went out
But
and you.
that's why Alec was working
You got
through the,
25,
Yeah.
1,000.
But that has since stopped and we're funding them like they're doing juvenile diversion and they're not anymore. I guess that's my question. Do we want to keep it there or go back to what it was in the past of 10?
Well, last year we gave them 10, I thought.
No,
We did,
And
according to this.
they requested 35 this year, and I think we can stay at 10.
and I'm fine with that, so. I'm,
Would
I'm,
you-
you wanna do 10? or
Last,
you wanna-
last year we
Yeah.
did 10. This year they requested 35 again, and we'll just keep it at 10. We'll just start with that.
okay, I'm fine with that.
And no change from last year's budget.
How long have we been giving them 10 prior to?
That
that?
would be a Patty question.
That club isn't really that old, so I think,
Yeah, it is. It's,
what's that? What's that? Pat? What's
It
that?
hasn't been that long since we've given them 10. It's always been more than that, I think.
well, in the past, they were doing juvenile detention and
Mhm.
Alex Martin was working through the Boys and Girls Club.
And we had got a grant.
Now he has an office in the state's attorney's office. He does diversions and goes up and down the stairs from juvenile court to the state's attorney's office, up to felony court, up to magistrate court. So, in my opinion, the money that we use to pay Alec should be through the state's attorney's office, not the Boys and Girls Club. Not that the Boys and Girls Club doesn't do a wonderful job for children.
I'm fine with 10 like
So-
Ryan proposed and move on.
So would
I
you
like
go
your idea,
15?
though. I
Would you
think
go,
it would be nice to put this under the state's attorney's office if they're working so closely with state's attorney's.
They are, but the Boys and Girls Club
Yeah.
is not working through them.
Not working through them. So,
Let's just go
Okay.
with 10 and move on.
I would
We'll get money for that,
move it
so
to
that-
15.
For
not-
bond for
just because
forfeiture.
Well,
That hasn't,
Their expenses have increased also.
but the reason
gotta
that I
put
wouldn't
your-
recommend that, because if we increase this one, then guess what? We need to increase the transit and we need to increase the library and we need to increase
well,
Inner Kenyon and all
John, I
this.
propose-
I think we just keep them the same.
everybody
And then let's
wants
see where
more
the budget
money
all
and
lands
nobody
when
wants
we
to
get
pay
there.
more
I'm fine, I
taxes.
just
And
asked
then
the
if we
question.
have extra, we can go back.
Yeah,
I'm fine with 10, I just asked the question.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
we'll
with
have extra,
keeping
but
the transit at 2,500 too. I know they're seeking tough times, but we'll
I
keep
agree.
it at 25 and
Well,
You
doesn't the
We
transit,
did tell them 10.
doesn't,
Thanks for
You
bringing
did-
that up.
I just want to remind you that you did tell the transit 10.
I don't remember.
I-
we did.
Okay, we're doing it again. So
Mr. Chair, I
mean, that's
when did
what this is.
we do that? When they came in, we said we would do what we could. So, Mr. Chair, my proposal would be 2,500 for the transit.
doesn't,
And if we get more money, then we can increase that later.
Mr. Chair, doesn't the transit bus transport some of the juvenile delinquent children back and forth to school? Separate. Okay. Okay.
We're gonna be here till midnight
We
if we
get,
don't.
so everyone's agreement to leave the transit at 2,500.
Yep.
Got it. Turn the page.
No,
Boys and girls 10, transit at 25. Do we need a vote on each one of these? Mr.
No.
Chair?
no.
Okay,
No, but my
It
question
says
then
it's
is,
2,500.
so we reduced the 191 to the 167?
On the- I'll have a whole thing.
Oh,
You
good.
guys get-
Because I don't have enough paper here.
I think the auditor one looks good.
Yankton transit stays at 10,000,
2,500.
2,500.
That's what we gave them last year.
So I'm working on the Patty's sheet that says proposed
Yep.
27 budget, $10,000, and we're gonna give them what, 2,500?
Yes.
I don't, Mr. Chair, auditor looks good to me.
Any questions on the auditors?
Well, let's go back up to the.
Yeah, I do.
Let's go back up to the commissioners. 68,700 is proposed. On my sheet here, it says, the chairman gets $17,687 and the board gets $16,612 a year.
Uh,
That's 3264, that's 79, it's $80,000
That's a month.
Six-
Yeah. times 12.
Where,
16, 6, 12 times. For 12
what
months.
page are you looking at to get,
The auditor.
I get that. What page is he looking at? That he's reading these
I'm
numbers?
looking at the budget sheet here where we have all the columns and we ask the
At the
department
bottom.
heads to put the information down. And it says on the bottom, chairman, $17,687,
Got it.
board, $16,612.
Okay.
If you multiply that out, it doesn't come out to be 68,700.
Well, we'll see what Mr. Calculator says.
Doesn't that
Except at the
include,
top, 84,135.
Well, Mr. Kettering just wants us to check our math. And it comes up to 84,135, according to Mr. Calculator.
It's right here.
And there it is.
87, that's what he's.
Oh,
I'm,
I probably
I'm-
wrote that on the wrong side.
Mr. Chair, I'm not proposing any increase on that, but a lot of other county, and I'm not saying we do this obviously, but a lot of other counties have commissioners get insurance and all this other stuff, and that's, not saying we're overpaid or underpaid, but we're definitely not overpaid compared to a lot of counties our size
So,
as well, so.
Mr.
So-
Chairman, commissioners haven't gotten health insurance since Bill Tamasia was a commissioner. And he
Yeah.
put the kibosh on that.
Pennington County and a
So
lot of
what-
other counties.
On here
do that,
though,
yeah.
not
50,000?
Pennington or Lincoln. I'm talking here.
Okay, so the commission, instead of that 68,700, which is a typo, that number is 84,135.
Yep. I think travel looks good. Remember, we're gonna have new people on here, and there's spring workshop, which I think is really important to go with all the new law changes. And
But
there'll be a convention.
my question is, if we're gonna cut everybody else, and we've held off on some of our raises,
Mhm.
should we be getting the same amount, the five of us? Can't we afford a 10% cut?
Well, can't we take that out of the travel budget, which seems to me to be excessive?
Maybe we should just,
And the other budget of 12,500, it seems
Take
to
it
be
out of what budget?
the commissioner's budget under expenses, travel, $12,000. Do we really need that for the commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
And-
we're gonna have new people coming on, and we're gonna have a spring workshop next year. And we're also gonna have a convention, and I think it's important to get new people out and get educated on that. We're not going, I don't think this is an excessive budget.
No, but it sets
Okay.
it sets how the public looks at what we're doing. Oh,
Maybe,
you cut
maybe we
everybody
should
else,
get,
but
maybe
you
we
don't
should
cut
all,
you.
all pay in 10,000 a year to privilege of being a commissioner.
Here,
I
we,
mean,
we didn't
maybe
cut
that's
any,
what we should do.
we did not cut any, there's no cuts for any employees in this proposed budget so far. However, if you look at the travel, 23 was 7,800, 24, which is an election year and whatever else, I don't know if that matters or whatever, but that's 15,900. Then in 25, we're down to 6,600. Last year we had 12,000 budgeted. We probably hit that. But this is
Yeah.
according to the previous years, this is an off year. So I think we could cut a couple $1,000s off of there pretty
You have to
easily.
Remember, this is only till March.
I understand that, but I'm going back to the other off years.
Mr. Chair, in
That we spent-
2024, we spent 15,000. And the reason I'm saying that, because this year coming up, there's gonna be multiple state association events. So that number's gonna be higher. And so we can cut that, but then we'll probably go over.
Can't we do some of those meetings by Zoom?
No,
Why?
they don't offer that as an option.
At what?
Okay,
For county
Let's
convention.
keep
it's
this
not.
thing moving along. If you
I
want to
think
stay
we're-
at 12,
I think
we'll
we're
stay at
fine.
12.
I would, Mr. Chair, I'd propose we go to the auditor's budget, which looks good to me. Move on, and then I'd propose we'd move to
I
the
would.
treasurer's office.
I wouldn't depend upon an auditor for anything,
What?
not our auditor. The state's auditor,
Well, it's the county's elected official.
big deal.
The treasurer's budget, I don't have an issue with it. It seems pretty minimal. I think she does a good job. The one proposal, the email that we've gotten in the past, I think Commissioner Loest wanted us to cut like 2 people out of here. I don't think that would be good because it would erode customer service. Many times I've seen that line 10 people deep, and it's, I think we just keep it as it is.
The reason I said that about the state auditor
Mm.
is not that he's dishonest, but the way the state looks at these financials is different than I've ever seen in any business. So
That's the whole thing. This is not a business. It's government.
I don't give a,
Mr. Chair, are we,
you'll have to meet your expenses.
Mr.
Even
Chair,
if it's government, you just have to meet your expenses.
And
are we treasurer? Are we at state's attorney now?
I don't know. Did we manage to get through the auditor?
Unless you have a proposal, I think it looks good. And
Well,
personally, I mean, it's an elected official.
I don't
She's
have
telling us that's what she needs for her budget. So go ahead.
I don't have a problem with it, but the number in my budget book does not match the number on the extra special piece of paper I was handed. Because the extra special piece of paper says 324, 261, whereas the book says 323, 413. I understand how this works. I'm looking at it. Move on.
so you're staying instead of 324, 261, it should say 323, 413.
No, I'm just trying to match the numbers. And they aren't
Yeah,
matching in my
I
book.
was looking at that. There's,
It's the one.
Here it says, here it says,
324, 260.
Oh.
Oh, I did go up. Sorry, that's my fault.
we have alternates.
Yeah.
That's, okay, that's the confusion.
324, 261 is the right number. Sorry.
So we agree that the numbers don't match.
When we get
Okay.
done with each discussion on each unit, I would like Patty to say, auditor, so many dollars.
Or how about
That's-
give up?
That's the discussion. Pissing around over $1,000 or $100 is a waste of time.
Agreed.
I agree.
So we're good with the auditor.
Elections are good, in my opinion. We don't have much control over that.
But you gotta remember, if we don't change any of these things, we're 2.5 million short.
Yeah.
Now, you have to come, the $2 million that you're short is highway,
Miss Auditor,
not the general.
Miss Auditor, under the 2026
Money that
budget.
won't be under government's control.
Mr.
next
Chairman,
year.
I think I had the floor.
I didn't hear it.
Miss Auditor, it says election on this special piece of paper. Did the county really spend $100,750 on elections last year?
No, that's current budget. That's for this year,
That's what?
for this year.
That's the
And
current budget
24.
here.
In 24, we spent 103,000.
Okay.
We're good with elections at 13,500.
Because they're still not matching. Okay, yes, fabulous.
Treasurer 404,326.
I don't have any corrections to this one, Mr. Chair.
State's Attorney's Office.
I just, on this one, Mr. Chair, I'd just like to commend the state's attorney. His budget that he proposed is about $100,000 less, so appreciate you're willing to work with us, Tyler. So thank you. That should be noted. An increased workload and cost and less, so.
Actually, I think the workload has gone down a little bit with the closing of Simples.
Okay. Well,
However, having said that, they do still have an awful lot of cases.
I don't have, this
I-
is me personally, I don't have anything I would add to, I'm fine with the budget that's proposed of 803,577.
We might have a few adjustments on here just simply because I do want to try to consolidate IT budget. And there's some few IT items that we would be moving into there, so.
You what?
subtract. We do want to consolidate the IT budget, so there might be a few things where.
Gary, can you tune to the
So,
microphone or
Well, he doesn't speak into the
Volume up here
microphone
from
and
the
he
speaker,
speaks
sorry.
looking at the rest of the
it
people. which-
only extends
No, no,
so
no,
far.
you're talking to them, which is fine. I still have a bit of a problem with 3,500 for books, since I think they could share a little bit. Although I don't think we should cut them all.
We are sharing. We're buying 4 books for 8 people.
And 3 of those 8 people don't use them.
We all use them.
Is it cheaper to get them in PDF form? I didn't think so.
We
Usually,
spent $500 in paper printing them off.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
usually the PDFs are just about as expensive.
Mr. Chair,
Just
could I
more
ask
careful.
Commissioner Heine a question?
Yep. Go ahead.
What were you talking about IT? Like what?
So,
Because you mentioned that. and
We
then-
have a laptop that's budgeted in there. That's one of those things we want to move into our IT plan.
Was that in supplies or where is that at in this
That's-
budget?
That was from a note from the other day that, that's under the furniture, minor equipment,
You have it under furniture?
things like that. So we
Okay.
want
On
to,
your equipment.
minor equipment, so
So, just so I'm,
So-
clear, that's gonna be into one IT department?
we want to move that into IT
Okay.
budget so that we can work the computer, all the computers as a pool of computers, uniform equipment, and be able to replace and maintain things faster.
But in point of fact, we don't know how much of the 2,000 is gonna be IT and how much is gonna be furniture.
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
We have to work on that. We have a meeting set up on Monday.
Mr. Chair, I'd propose that we approve state's attorney's budget as presented. Move on.
Patty, can you, every time we get ready to move on, can you say what the actual dollar amount we all agree on? Just to repeat
Yeah,
it, so.
803,577.
557.
557?
Yes.
803,557.
Okay. Government building.
Do we know of any major projects that are gonna happen major repairs that we have on our government buildings.
This building?
I think he plans, did you look at any of the sheets he?
I'll really have a sheet in here.
Well, I'm curious how we spent $14,000 on the landscaping of the Veterans Memorial when nobody talked about it. It just happened and we got a bill. How did that happen?
It was in the budget. I mean, every time I guess, the policy that's been the case is if it's budgeted for and it's under 50,000 and doesn't have to be bid out, that the department head has the ability to do that. I mean, if you look at the highway budget, they spend hundreds of thousands on bridges every month. And, we gotta have faith in our department heads. That's why they're in that position.
Well,
Don't
If we wanna have it where everything over a certain amount has to come to the commission, we can do that, but we better start meeting twice a week.
Well, shouldn't they at least tell somebody it's gonna happen?
Did they tell, I mean, Gary, that's under your department, and did he talk to you and you didn't have an issue with it?
I just found out when somebody drove by and said, why is New Pond ripping the Veterans Memorial apart? And I said, I have no idea.
It does look very nice. No.
I'm not saying it doesn't look nice. I'm just saying.
it was awful. It was.
Yeah, that we were getting a lot of complaints about it, and like Dan said, there was money in the budget and it had been planned for a while that they were gonna clear it out and replace it, and since it was in the budget, yeah, he told me that he was planning on bidding it out and they took care of it.
So did you bid it out?
Yeah, they did. Now that we turned the mics up, now we're
Maybe we
getting
need to
that
turn it down a
echo
little
effect.
bit.
Should I turn them back down?
Yeah.
So I think we should keep moving forward on 2027's budget and not worry about $15,000 that was spent this year.
I'm just curious how, when they say it's budgeted for, where in the budget
It
did
would
it
have been
fit?
budgeted in 2026 and not 2027.
I get it.
And-
I am aware of how budgets work, but did it go into repairs and maintenance? So,
No,
oh, we've
No,
got,
It went under the building fund.
Mhm.
Anything done to a building, carpet, anything comes out of that. It's
Yeah.
generated by tax dollars.
I understand how that works. I just don't understand how it fell into the budget and
It's
under
not,
what,
it's not in here.
that's what I thought.
Mr. Chair,
Dan,
visited with Brian Hunoff a little bit, and if you want to elaborate more, we do actually, we're one of the few counties that has a government buildings levy that county commissioners, I think 20 years ago, were wise enough to put into place. However, we haven't been increasing that levy, which we are authorized by law to do. In my opinion, a levy that for government buildings should go to the government buildings. And then that's less that we have to siphon off from the general fund to do that. Did you want to cover anything? Because I think that's a really good point. The voters and the people, I don't know when it was, years ago, said they wanted this. And so that levy, we should actually be increasing, because then that's less that has to come out of the general fund, and then makes Don happy when those numbers are closer together. So.
Yeah, if we're talking about the same thing,
Yeah.
this is one that, are you talking about the government buildings fund or the opt-out we had for the jail?
Like, we actually have a specific separate tax levy that
Right.
can go to, can we proposed a road and bridge levy that would be.
here again, we're not talking about 2027.
No,
budget.
we're talking about, yes, we are, because if we raise that levy a
And we're
little
not
bit.
talking about raising it though. If the funds are there already in an account,
Okay.
we can't raise it.
And most of these kind of funds were created with a time frame. You do it for 10 years or 20 years. This one was actually created before there was time frames attached, so it's there every year.
Or perpetuary.
But
Right.
I guess my proposal.
And we don't use it all every year, but it's there, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be affected by the property tax cap. It's
Yep.
aside from that. So it's a good point that might be a place to
Yeah.
cover some of these.
At
projects.
least if we were raising that 3% or CPI every year, and it would at least keep up with inflation. That's just something to consider. And I'm ready to move on, but I don't have any issue with this
I
one.
just have the quick question is, if all these
Go ahead.
projects are coming out of that building fund and they're not in here, and the building fund is funded, why
The
would,
tax dollars.
is already funded and it's not in danger of going away, right?
No,
No. So why would we increase the levy of that to increase that fund?
right now it's just,
Projects that are already covered by that
you
fund?
know, it's,
No,
it used
I
to be
guess-
like funded like 100,000.
Mhm.
And that's taxes. And but the last few years, you guys have put it down to like 90,000.
So we're supplementing the building instead of generating funds with the building levy, we're supplementing it with general funds. Is that an
Well,
accurate statement?
it's a
Yeah.
levy.
Yeah.
That if you didn't have it, the 90,000 would be in the general
Yeah.
fund.
So that's right here. That's this fund right here,
Yes.
$174,500.
So it would be,
90,000.
it would be, yeah, it would make sense to have the levy for
This
the
is-
government buildings
No, these
be
are
paying
taxes.
at least more of the government buildings. To me, that makes sense.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Does everybody understand that?
So where are you putting that number?
It's 233. If you look,
We're in a different,
That would
okay.
this number right here.
and I know Justin had planned on, that's what all the copies he had, things planned, and I know there was and he should have kind of explained that with the budget of what he wants to do and what has to be replaced eventually.
who?
So then
Justin.
can we take 90,000 off of the 294,27?
If we did that, no,
No.
we'd have to raise that levy and then that would generate more revenue
Yeah.
for next year. And
Okay,
that-
so we're good
That's
with
called a
290.
tax.
That,
Everything's a
but
tax.
that,
Lonnie.
that doesn't help our general budget here, because we're not supplementing that building fund.
No,
We are not supplementing the building fund currently out of our general fund.
What is the revenue that was generated out of the, out of that levy? Do you have that information for last year?
there's a levy, it's 90,000.
90,000.
So what, but. Okay. 90,000, but we're gonna spend 290,000?
No, that's out of this fund
Mhm.
is for utility supplies,
Mhm.
payroll.
When you say this fund, you mean the
government.
left hand or the
government.
actual money in the
This
book?
budget is for the
Okay,
daily maintenance and the daily
Here.
crews and all that support for our
For
building.
this building.
The budget levy is for making improvements to our buildings and fixing things and things like that.
wouldn't that go
Is
to
that what
repairs
that's
and
limited
maintenance?
to? You
No.
can't use the
It's just
building
for-
levy to pay for the.
No, I
it's only
understand it's a
construction,
special
it's
number,
not
but
Maintenance?
we have 25,300 in repairs and maintenance. And on the other hand, we're saying we have 90,000 to cover it.
That's,
Apples and oranges?
well, the building fund is for like bigger projects.
So if you
Like
look at
if
the
you
back
have
here,
like this, the grounds like that.
he has in the back here, major projects, and you can look through those major projects in 2027. Those are all going to be covered from the building fund. They are larger projects.
Well-
They're not things like changing the light bulbs.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true because the levy here is, yeah, acquiring, constructing, maintaining, buildings like courthouses, jails, and all of that. So I don't see anything in here that excludes us from using it for general maintenance.
But you can't use that for like utilities.
No,
Supplies.
but mowing and repairs and cleaning, what, there, I mean, unless we get a state's attorney pin, I don't see anything that says we can't use it for that. And it, yeah, eligible structures, courthouse, office, jails, exhibition building, 4-H, extension, grandstand, highway maintenance building, and public libraries. I guess what I'm saying is we are supplementing the budget's doing that. We have a levy that I don't think has been well utilized. Maybe we consider it, maybe we don't, and we keep taking out of the general fund. I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. But there's nothing that I mean, is that how you read it, Tyler, SDL 7-25-1? That we can use it for general maintenance.
What intentionally was that fund for, was like, say if like over in the safety center, repaired the elevator. Or that it needed a new part or something. Those kind of things. Or a generator or something big like that. That's what it was intended to use when they first got it.
I think we should be faithful to our constituents and keep it that way.
And instead tax them through the same amount through the general fund. Which is, if we're looking at ways to.
You're looking at a way to tax more.
No, I'm not. It's the same amount, Ryan. But what we're, right, we have two pockets and we're taking all of the dollars out of the general fund to pay the groundskeeping for this. It's the same amount. It's not going to change. It's this way we have a levy that the constituents before your and I time said, we want a levy to maintain government buildings, and now we're not using it. It'd be like if we had a road and bridge levy and didn't use it and took it out of the general fund. But
So this 90,000.
I mean, if we're gonna look at ways to stretch our general fund, we should look at them.
Yeah. Whatever you don't use, it goes from year to year.
So this is actually a revenue number outside of the general.
And then just paying whatever I want, and they can't be back.
Yes. But,
We should be.
okay,
But if we don't.
So when he fixes the elevator, he should take it out of this fund instead of out of the general.
he does.
Okay, that's, okay.
Yeah,
So then that number, that $90,000 number
Oh,
will
my
decrease
goodness.
throughout the
Yeah.
year.
yes.
But, and I would,
No.
I mean, I would say we could be, the maintenance and the groundskeeping could come out of that number as well. According to how I read SDCL
I'd have,
725-1.
to make sure, I want to check with the state
Okay.
auditor.
Can we look into that and come back to it? Could
Yeah,
you,
I'll
could you
check
write a
with them
note,
tomorrow.
on that? All right.
Well, and in looking at, again, the building project that supposedly was in the budget. Again, my pages are a number, but in major projects projected, but not factored into the 2027 budget is the memorial revitalization project, which he did last month and not in the year 2027. As it kind of looks like he does what he wants when he wants, to me. And when we're trying to figure out a budget, it's difficult to keep up. So are we done with the government building?
That's what we are.
At 294.27, or is that number changed?
That's the same.
Just a second. 290,427.
Moving on to the safety center.
And that's the same thing. It's, if anything big, like I said, to repair the elevator.
Yeah, I don't see any, Mr. Chair, I don't see an issue. We gotta remember the safety center is 20 years old. Maintenance is only gonna get more expensive every year, so.
392, 807.
Moving right along then to the Department of Equalization.
I did put in here the short staff. I did pull, the full staff amount, so if you want to change that.
In my book, under travel, it says that year to date, we've used $31 in actual, but they're requesting a $2,300 increase.
This is as of March. Remember, I have to, let me go see how much.
Their travel is also,
Related.
yes.
Yeah, I get that, but it just seemed odd that it was $31 when they wanted 11,000.
I'm sure there's
And they-
conferences that they've gone to.
There is, they have required trainings, and I think, if I recall, their required trainings flip flop from each side of the state. Next year, their required trainings are in Rapid City.
Right.
And so they will have more travel.
Well, I get that, but
And so if you look back, like 2024, their travel was 13,000.
no, I see that. And then in 2025, it was 5,700. So.
Yeah,
But I'm curious as to why we're using March 31 numbers and not June 30th numbers.
that was the sheet that got filled out. But
I'm sorry?
that was the sheet that got pulled out with the proposed requested.
When we started
So
doing
just
our
have it
budgets
updated
back
with the new
in,
sheet.
I know that, but is there a button we can push to get current year to dates?
Not- With the software that they had a presentation on, yeah, you can with the ClearGov.
We're on the
It would make it
director of
easier.
equalization. Is that one?
We're still on Director of Equalization.
Okay, yeah, I want you to note that, we went from request of $20,000 down to 2,500.
They've spent almost 1,900 so far as of
And
July.
Mr.
So
Chair,
the professional service on the current budget for this year is largely due to the anticipation of some bringing in extra professionals for commercial properties. That did not happen. So that 20,000 isn't going to be spent this year on that budget
On
line.
line 162.
Right, they were
Yes.
gonna get a professional assessor to assess
Because
Napa Junction.
Napa Junction and a few others and large commercials, and they did not have to do that, thankfully. So we
Makes
did not
sense.
have to spend it. We
Makes
budgeted
sense.
because that was what we were looking at and facing at last year.
Director of Equalization, 496, 500.
yep, I'm fine with that.
Register of Deeds, 318, 929.
We gotta cut him down really
No,
bad.
He does a good job.
And he only spent $46 on travel. Look at him go.
Yeah, I just want to say my increase is entirely health insurance and the 2.5, really nothing else.
Moving on,
You're the quickest one and the easiest one for us to go through. Thank you.
Updated sheet possibly
What's that? I'm sorry.
slightly off.
Oh,
You know.
Veteran Service Office.
I would, Mr. Chair, I'd propose that we, just keep it at the 70045.
5-4.
54, thank you, Wanda. I, in the future, we might have to increase this to different hours, but I feel it has helped. You know, having the conversations with our surrounding communities in Nebraska to send those veterans to their own counties for assistance. And then if they can't receive that, then to their state, I think that has helped that problem. So,
Absolutely.
I think on the veterans, we need to remember the hour changes that have gone into, his schedule. And he does, I've never talked to anybody that didn't say he
Yep.
did a great job.
Yep.
Working for him.
Yep.
So if we're gonna support the veterans, I do not want to lose him.
Yeah. The one proposal, I guess, Mr. Chair, if I may, working 8-hour days would be about an $8,000 increase. Is there anybody who really feels that's necessary? Because he gave us 3 budgets. 1 is staying as it is, 2 is working 8-hour days, and 3rd is an assistant. I don't think we need an assistant. And so stay where we're at or do 8-hour days. And there would be 8,000 roughly more. Anybody have a preference one way or another?
On which one?
The VSO, I think.
No, I don't have a problem with leaving it that. I think that
Okay.
he does a good job, even though he seems to be doing a good job for other states and other counties.
Yeah, I think, well, that is with our policy shift has changed it. Staying at as is, or go to 8 hours, I think that's the question, so.
And he requested that amount. That wasn't something that we
Yeah.
Increased.
Yeah, so.
Veteran 70054.
Yes.
Yep.
So on to the sheriff.
Mhm.
I don't know how he can do much on the jail, because so much of it is contracted foods and, I suppose there are some medical things that are in there, but
One
he doesn't
concern,
have much control of that.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
One concern I had visiting with the sheriff on just the jail in general, and I'm glad you bring that up, Don, is for a long time, we've had that jail where we've had a lot of martial holds and all of this stuff. But what we're seeing now, speaking with the sheriff, is we're decreasing in the number of martial holds. We're getting more state parolees or people who are getting picked up on parole. And then we're also getting a lot more local Yankton people who are in our jail. And what that means is less martial holds. That means less revenue that's generated with that jail as well. So we just got to be cognizant of that. I don't have any issues with the sheriff's budget or the jail budget. I do have something when we get to juveniles, but
I just have one.
Well, I think on the juvenile budget,
are we there yet or do we
Oh, I
want to?
have one question.
Brian had a question on that.
Okay.
Just for Patty. Okay, so the sheet we have, and the materials the sheriff gave out last time, there's a $14,000 difference to your account. That's $14,000 less. Is there something taken out?
Which one?
And the sheriff is,
One.
2 vacancies short. So was that, he didn't put money in for those 2.
232.
I don't think any.
592. Which one is
So
all?
just looking at 1994, 165. I have a
This is probably asking for a chicken.
2000.
But
I got 199.
If you take the number of tickets given out by the number of officers by 365, it's a losing business.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in this one that he has it. Oh, there it is. See,
So,
so there's two different sheets. He handed this one out on that day and that's a little bit different.
Oh. He didn't give me one.
The one that you have in your book, it's
Yep, that's the one I used.
the one you used. Okay.
So what is that?
It's 2,008,165. And that's,
are you talking for the sheriff budget?
yeah, for the sheriff budget,
Or the jail budget.
The
sheriff
trail.
budget.
Yeah, but we have that other one that was less than that when we asked everybody to cut. So I think we're on the 1994165.
Okay, I was going with his.
Yeah. But with the
his
lower
updated
number.
sheet that he gave out the day he was here.
I talked to the sheriff yesterday about the budget and he told me these were the numbers that he wanted that are in the book.
Yeah.
He wanted
The
what?
ones in the book?
The ones in the book.
Okay. Okay, I see it's someplace in his personnel, $14,000 less.
So I think we're going with 1994165.
0.13.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure where that discrepancy was.
I don't have 0.13, but
We'll go with the one in the book.
I'm looking at the sheriff's budget, 1259546.
he's got an updated one that's less for 1994165.
One what?
1994165. The same one that's on this sheet.
Time out.
1994165.
Okay,
Okay,
Jail 2335592. Don't put the cents.
It's two different numbers for group insurance on these two sheets.
I think the juvenile budget is too high.
Group insurance, 150.
Yeah, one sheet has 154, the other sheet has 140, so.
I think probably should go with 150 because if that goes up like 12%.
Yeah, we probably should because historically it's been much closer to that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, 140 looks like it might be slim.
Yeah.
I do remember him saying that he was eliminating a position and his
Oh.
budget, so that might be right.
so juvenile, you want to change that then?
Well,
Yes,
we have a lot less, thankfully. I'm sure it's all due to my supervision. Less juveniles in
good job, Wanda.
JDC. So if we could cut that in half, because I know in 25 and early in 26, we had some children that were,
have what?
3 up there, but we had 3 in a family up there for almost a year. And then I want to say it was in 2020.
I don't care if we cut it in half. But I would say the likelihood of there being less juvenile kid problems in the coming year than there was this year is very, 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 very small.
Well,
I don't know if
actually, that's not accurate. We have had less.
Okay, that's not accurate, but
We,
that's your opinion, this is mine.
I would maybe say 250.
I could live with 250.
Dan?
Yeah, I visited with the sheriff on this and I don't agree with 250. I would go with 300. And the reason I say that, it's still $110,000 cut. And we don't, and to Don's point, or Tyler's point, we get a couple criminals like juveniles that like 2024, if they commit a serious crime, they could be in there for years. So I'm all for cutting, but it doesn't make sense if we cut it less. And the reason I respect 250, but I don't think we should go with that is because, yeah, just 2024, we were at 288,951. And since that time, rates have gone up significantly. I think we were paying 300 back then and now they're 500.
Well,
And so
25 though, it was only 202.
what's that?
In 2025, we only spent 202,000.
Yeah,
I'm fine with 300
yeah,
as well.
let's
I
do
feel
300.
50 as a
Okay,
minimum.
I
And
appreciate that. And-
I can live with 300.
Okay, and I spoke with the sheriff. He's comfortable with that number. And so I think that's, if, could we go with 300 and move on?
200,
No,
300,
300?
300. That's a compromise. Okay.
24/7, 140,700.
There's not a lot of fat to trim there,
And that's on its own budget too, isn't it?
although apparently she needs minor equipment.
What are we on right now?
Yeah, the
Foreman?
24/7 isn't in the general fund either. Coroner, that's the same as last year, 40,157.
Yeah.
Ambulance,
We don't have the actual expenses for this. Could we get those printed out quick, Patty? Take a 5-minute break and get like sheets like this printed out?
the ambulance,
But I don't have that in my book. I have, and I guess,
ambulance.
yeah, for ambulance. Oh, wait, maybe I was on the wrong one. Okay, I'm sorry. I was on coroner. Coroner didn't have that. Apologize. For this one, I again appreciate, I think we're making good strides. But again, our budget's going up 3.4%. This proposed budget here is going up 7.67%, about what, 112,000 roughly? I'm getting bad math. And I think part of it is, they're doing a county kind of an accumulation fund to purchase new vehicles. The other departments aren't doing that. I guess I'm fine with it going up some. I think it needs to go up some, but it probably shouldn't go up, 7.7%. And reason being, if we look, state's attorney cut his budget by 100,000. The sheriff cut his budget, juvenile detention budget got cut. We're asking everybody to cut. This one's going up the most of any budget I've seen so far. Maybe
Yeah.
we're okay with that, but
But it's also less, the budget is still less than the expenditures of 2025.
I don't think
Um,
it is, Ryan.
It is.
How much?
Expenditures in
did they
twenty
expend?
twenty-five was $1,670,036, and the budget is $1,572,901. So, yes, the budget is about $100,000 less than what we spent in 2025.
What do we tell the other department heads that we're asking everybody to cut, but this department can go up 7%? What do we tell them?
How about we tell them the city doesn't chip in for the ambulance?
I mean,
I-
if we're gonna, I
It's
mean,
not about cutting, it's about trying to be honest about our budgeting.
well, I think
And
I'm fine with it going up. I would like to see a little trim.
there
That's
is,
all I'm asking.
and the only places I can see that they could trim their budget potentially, and I'm still not comfortable with it yet, but historically, in the last 2 years, they have been doing much better, much more economical on their supplies. And they also have a $30,000 budgeted into their rescue equipment for a power lift. And so that's, if we push that off.
Well, we shouldn't need a power lift now because all the ambulances have those. Because we just did the
This-
last one. So
I think this was.
One that
for
does not
replacement,
have it.
Or
I
one
thought we
doesn't.
just,
but
I
it's
thought
not.
we just did
Yeah.
that.
One of
That's
the
a
old,
backup.
the oldest one, I believe, does
Yeah.
not have.
Um, you know, I guess looking.
I don't think, it would hurt if we took that 59,000
Okay.
for future purchases.
Okay, I'm fine with that if we do that. And the reason I say everybody brings up good points. But we don't budget this way for the highway or the sheriff or any other ones. Maybe we should be, but if we can eliminate that, I'm fine. We move on.
I think in future years, I think that should be budgeted. And I
Yeah.
mentioned at the very beginning that we should have a capital expenditure budget number for.
We did
each
have it, then you guys told them not to.
I'd be, I don't know, so they have a 59,000 for machinery and equipment. I know 30, in my notes here, 30,000 of that 59,000 was for that power lift. I would like to see that we can keep that going in. I feel like one place we can trim like 10,000 off maybe is just in their supplies. And just try to see if they can stay within that historical trend that they've been doing with supplies. Which would be really, really impressive anyway.
If
So
we,
if we can take 20,000 off of their machinery budget, machinery and auto equipment budget, take 20,000 off there and 10,000 off their supplies. That's 30,000 out of their budget.
So for 100, you want 90.
Yeah,
Okay.
that way maybe they can still squeeze in that power lift if things are looking good
And 59 goes to what?
and give them the challenge to keep their trend going on supplies.
How much off the auto?
59 goes to what?
59 would go down to 39.
about 30, that'd be half, and then we can move on.
We're getting rid of the 30. I'm just trying to see if they can
Yeah.
challenge, if they can meet their challenge on supplies, maybe they can also get their power lift.
Well, the nice thing about some of these.
So what
you know,
does that make the bottom line?
That would make the bottom line $1,542,901.
542.1.
Okay, ambulance 154291. Extension.
Wait, 4, what did you say?
1542901.
2901. I guess before we move on, I think, you know, long term, we're just gonna have to get a plan with the ambulance. Again, this is not mandated. It's something we choose. What that's gonna be, I don't know. Working with the city, doing something else, but the actual losses that we're sustaining from the ambulance, 2023, our net loss was 700, you know, this is the actual cost minus the actual revenue, was 703,753. And that number for 2024 is 284,950, and 2025, 591,046. So we're averaging about a $526,000 loss per year. Maybe we're fine with that. I don't know, but we just have to be honest that there is a cost.
Would you say
to
the
running
number
a-
was in 25?
The number I got, the actual costs was $1,670,036. The revenue that the ambulance brought in, $1,078,990, for a net loss of $591,046. And maybe we're fine with that. It's a valuable service, but we have to realize there's a cost.
Higher than that.
I thought 2025 was not.
This is taking the actual costs minus the revenue that got brought in from the levy.
I'm also going to point out,
Mhm.
this is a very well-known problem throughout the nation.
Mhm.
Other counties are dealing with it, whether they are doing their own ambulance or whether they have a private service or whether they have you have, the alternatives is turn it over to a private service. In a lot of cases, the counties are still supplementing that money.
Yeah.
They're still subsidizing the ambulance service for rural ambulances. The challenge is that the rural
Mhm.
ambulance is just not a profit-making business.
Mhm.
And it's really hard to have a private private entity come in and say, take this over. You're never gonna make money. I challenge you to find an entrepreneur that's gonna jump into that business.
My issue isn't
And it's
whether or not,
a really necessary service.
yes,
for our people.
everybody agrees it's necessary. And I just say, we're the only county where the burden is only on our shoulders, and I just don't know
That's absolutely not true.
what other county.
Macomb County subsidizes the.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. They-
Jerry
they-
Doyle Jerry Doyle transferred it to the city of Flanders. I can have him come down and give us a.
Well, that'd
thought
be nice,
after we
because
do it.
last year at the convention, he said the Macomb County spent
Yep.
$600,000 on an ambulance.
And it was a part-time ambulance, and he,
It doesn't
now
matter if it's part.
the city of Flanders
county
has taken, the city of
$600,000.
the city of Flanders has taken it over. So I'm just saying, we need a long-term strategy, or there'll come a point where we cannot pay this bill anymore. So let's move on.
Okay, everybody was with the ambulance, 154201,
What was the,
801?
what was the figure on the ambulance?
154291,
Okay, 901.
extension.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
what is the plan for that building?
The plan for the building is we want to give it back in October, the beginning of the 4-H year.
Okay, so this year, October,
This
okay,
year.
because that's, okay.
We did weeds approved. Well, it was gone.
12252.
Okay, thank you.
We,
That's extension. What
For
about-
extension.
I don't have extension in.
We skipped weeds,
oh,
We haven't
that's
gotten
in the
weeds-
bottom,
Weeds after extension.
because it's
Well,
not really a department. anymore.
not in the book.
Okay. So in my book, the extension's first.
Where?
In my book,
Extension shows up first and here.
Mine too.
Flip flop.
in my.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's just flipped around, doesn't matter.
yeah. Are we doing extension then? Or weed?
Let's do weeds.
We
Let's do
just
it in the
did-
order of the special piece of paper.
Okay.
I just said extension. Were you okay with that?
Extension, briefly, there's another case where there's 43,800 that we probably will never spend. I'm really hoping that Madison can get really into this and manage without her help, without paid help. We're asking a lot for volunteers and
Are you talking grounds and maintenance? or-
I'm talking extension and just with the extension office
I know I'm looking at it, but was there anything in particular?
particular. I was talking about just the personnel services. That whole line is money that we
In the back
hope
here.
not to spend.
Yeah, look for.
Oh, that
lobby.
professional services,
And professional services is what we provide to STM.
but we still give to 4-H, correct?
Yes, we still have
Is that a
we
requirement?
do a 35,000
Yeah.
grant.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. we were-
Raise a question whether we even want to have extension.
What?
Or maybe not.
I'm gonna raise a question on whether we even want to have an extension.
You
What?
want to,
Maybe
you
we
want to
did.
cancel extension?
I bet I did.
Oh, we did this
We-
problem last year.
Think about it, Boys and Girls Club, certain 500-600 kids, or each is what, 30, 40?
I don't-
About
That's
1,100.
okay.
No.
There's over 200 members and the outreach
No.
goes beyond. Well, have you been to some of their activities?
I don't think we want
Okay.
to go through.
I think where we're,
So do you mean it's gonna be 86,000?
Well,
Are
what
we
I'll
taking
tell you-
out that-
What I'll tell you is we probably cut out 400,000, 500,000 so far. We're through a lot of the big items and we're looking to cut $2.5 million out. We haven't even started on our cuts.
Ryan?
Yes.
So if we, are you suggesting we take the 24 out and reduce it to 86,050?
Where?
If we take out the Professional service.
Oh, no, that's the one we keep. That's what we,
40 for the building.
I'm saying that the one thing we can cut in here. One thing that we can cut if we have to, but it's money that we don't plan, we hope not to expend, is the personnel services, is the 43,800, and that would be for an assistant in the extension.
Oh, you mean cut this whole thing?
Why
Yes.
are we, Mr. Chair, sorry, why do we have the 43 for an assistant?
It's an assistant that we have not hired. That's the normal way. That's the normal contract. Our MMU with
Yeah,
SDSU is a special one that allows us to operate without providing an assistant.
and I appreciate the explanation, but
And
I think
the
the
only
last
reason we've
thing,
been able to get away with that right now is one,
Mhm.
good position with SDSU, and
Mhm.
two, a lot of extra work being put in by volunteers.
well, I guess we got into the position, when you guys first came on where, we had one person and then SDSU wanted us to hire another person and we did. And what's the first thing they did? Then they pulled their SDSU person out from under us. You remember when Perry came in and he came up here and said, there's nothing you guys can do. We're pulling our SDSU support and sign that. You remember that, Don? And so I don't really trust SDSU, and I guess I don't know why we're budgeting for somebody that we probably wouldn't hire. I mean, if there's ever a year where we don't hire people, it's this year. So I'm fine with professional services and hiring maybe part-time, as needed people, but I don't think
Isn't that what that lady that came in and gave the
I mean, are you
report?
in the same, we
Isn't that
gotta
her?
avoid hiring more people.
With the
That's
20
Madison.
That's Madison.
We don't
Yeah,
get Madison.
services.
We pay
Our
half of hers.
contribution to that.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So that's right.
So are we leaving it at that number? What arbitrary number are we choosing here?
So the one I
Oh,
was
maybe I'm
suggesting,
discussion.
if you listen to me,
I'm
that we
listening.
can cut here is the personnel services, that extra person that we have not hired.
So the whole top row.
Yes, the
43?
43,800.
part-time assistant. And if
So
you
we
really
take
need to cut, that's the one
120
we
down.
cut on.
Do you have you want to cut 20,000? You want to cut 30? You want to leave 10 in there just in case, or what do you want to do? Or do you want the whole thing? I guess
Well,
ask your
it's
opinion.
this is for a position of a part-time person. If you're just trying to hire contractors,
Mhm.
do we need to have the personnel services, or would we increase that under
No,
professional service?
Yeah, professional services.
What about cutting that whole thing and then bumping up the professional services
So,
a little bit, and then that should have you covered?
yeah, well, let's, okay,
We're-
well,
Go
okay,
to
let's
30.
cut the personnel services.
And
let's
then go to
increase-
30,000 on the other one and call it good?
Well, I was thinking maybe another 10,000, so 24,202, that,
30,
But-
then you go
And
34,000.
I get where you're coming from with
Because-
that, but if you look in the past, and I get things have been different, we've never
you
hardly
can't,
spent
you can't
anything.
hardly judge the past, because this is not the
Mhm.
way anything operated in the past, and so we're trying to
Okay.
find a new mode of operation here. So again, it's like one of those things, we budget to what maybe be realistic to make sure that we're covered, and we try not to spend it.
That's fine. That's all fine. That's the
Yeah.
reality. That's life.
Yeah,
But if you don't have enough money to pay for it, then you can't
well,
have
and
the
then if we
service.
get all the way through all this stuff, and we say there's no way we can pay for it, but then maybe we can go back on another pass, but
Go back on one.
go back on another pass through here.
A
and cut
pass
even harder.
through,
Another.
a second.
Run through and cut harder. That's kind of how you do this. You try to
So
work your way
are we-
through and make it.
Are
Make
we
the
cutting
best work through it.
43 or what are we cutting, 30? Are we cutting 30 off of that number?
10.
Okay,
We're keeping 10, so you're cutting 33,800, right,
Yes,
Ryan?
we're keeping 10. So yes, we're cutting 33,800.
What's the extension?
So it
extension-
should be 86,453.
Yeah,
Say again.
452.
I'm sorry, you're right, 452.
6,452.
that's
Use-
50% of what was spent in 2023 on extension.
Admirable job, Ryan.
Okay, zoning.
Now are we to weeds?
Yes,
So extension, we 86,452.
Yes.
weed is 118,098.
I don't see realistically
That's
where we
down.
can make.
It's even down
cuts.
some.
And I think that
Move-
when he's not busy, I think he helps over in highway, so.
Yep.
Don't really see the problem.
Weed 118,098.
Zoning,
259,642.
Gary, did you use your salary in the proposed budgeting, or did you cut it to?
If we can find somebody to do that job for that.
I mean, what's the possibility of just going to one person in that department?
I'm sorry.
What's the possibility of just going to one person in planning and zoning?
Well, you probably have to pay the one that's there a little more.
It'd be less than 198,000.
I would think so,
Mr. Chair,
using the old map.
Mr. Chair.
Dan.
Yeah, I think there'd be a potential for that. That's kind of one of the reasons we're looking at cutting the drainage. That alleviates at least one meeting a month, which would help. And then, also this office does commissioner assistant and floodplain and a lot of other things. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities, but I think ideally, we continue to look for somebody like Gary. And if we can't find them, then we go that route. But I hate to change the whole department now, and then we find a good candidate. I mean, didn't we get a guy apply that was pretty decent, or? Yeah, so
I don't know, like we were talking about how we have to cut $2.5 million.
Mm.
We can cut quite a bit right here.
we cut this department by 50%.
Said what?
You can't.
And we cut quite a bit right here. It requires, sometimes it requires us to step up a little bit more.
Well, how would it work if we had zoning and then no commission assistant? How would that work? Cause I tell you, it's not easy.
We don't have a
To-
commissioner's assistant. We rely on our
Yeah,
people. We don't have a single person doing that.
it's Moody County can afford that. Small counties you have to do it for, if I send you and John an email, it's an open meeting.
What's their budget?
A lot less than ours. I think a commission assistant is very important, especially with all of the moving parts we have. We have, all these task force we have, we're working on, pretty complicated zoning. I don't know, cutting this,
I didn't say
Area-
there's gonna be a person there, yeah.
I mean, Gary, you're in this,
Personally, I
I
don't
mean,
think
with
you've got-
what you do, you're very good at your job. Do you think one person could do this? I don't think so. I mean, the amount of meetings you go to and the projects you're working on, I don't see one person being able to do it.
As Gary's coming up on,
Hmm.
here's one of the things that my observation is, and I may not be right. But we are dreadfully short. I hear lots of people talking about, why does this thing happen? Why did that thing happen? And we don't know about it in the planning and zoning department. We don't have people out in the field. We don't have people checking on what we've approved. We don't have nothing going on there. So, we may be cutting our throat on potential tax income.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think in some ways we can replace some of that with better services in online and yeah, and we need to have our zoning more active out there looking and checking up on things. It'd be good to know ahead of time, a lot of times, where the development's happening in the county and stuff like that, so that we have that background when we're making decisions on CUPs
And a lot of this
Zoning
area is
changes.
gonna depend upon how we look at the replacement of Gary.
Mhm.
Gary's doing a whole lot of other stuff in the county. And if that goes to somebody else, maybe they got plenty of people on that planning. and zoning.
Well, the challenge as always is just like every department. If you go to one person, and I've been in that position as a one-person team in the past, what do you do every time that person's on vacation? Every time that person goes out to check some kind of nuisance issue? Who's covering the phones? All those kind of things, that's always the challenge. And you try and do just like veterans, then you have to go to some kind of thing where you're saying, you're setting appointments more, or, you say office hours are less on Fridays, because Friday's the day that I have to go out and check on some things or whatever. So there's a lot of things like that. Obviously, I'm not setting up all your meetings anymore. You're all doing that yourself, coordinating those kind of activities. And so those are the challenges. It's not that it can't be done, but those are the kind of things that, yeah, you've been doing now for a while, and it's a pretty significant change.
Then you're gonna get the citizens.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you
upset
get
about
some
it.
citizens
They're
that are
there.
upset but when you have big counties like this, you can't drive 50 miles and then not miss an appointment or two. Somebody coming in, well, I didn't know. Well, you need to call me. Those are the kind of things that happen.
And Gary and Mr. Chair, we have like the online building permit system, which helps, but you and I know I get calls all the time from older people who struggle with it, and they still have to be kind of walked through
Yeah.
with that. So I think technology is a part of it, but that's never gonna alleviate the walk-ins and all of that. And I
No, it
really feel that
happens
this
every day.
this
pretty much.
department, especially what we have in our future, gotta have two people in it. And if we can't find somebody that'll reduce the cost, but I think it's important. So for customer service and transparency and all of that. So.
In the past, you had a person that was doing the planning and zoning, and then they had an admin person that could at least take the calls, maybe at least take information for the permits or something. So there's options out there. It's just all what you want to do.
Mr.
Sounds
Chair,
like you can do it with one person and an AI assistant.
I'd propose we keep it as is and move on.
Okay. 259, 642.
Yep.
Highway. Where's highway?
Did we,
Are we on search and rescue?
yeah, I think the book is different. Are we doing search and rescue? Search and rescue? All right.
Yeah, that's basically the same.
I
It should be under Paul's.
don't have any issue with the 27,425.
I don't either.
I'm good with that. Mr. Chair, if you are 27,425, Patty,
28.
428, thank you. Gotta get glasses maybe.
Library.
Brian, did you want to
Yeah.
cover this one?
Yeah, historically, they've always asked for 24 for the last couple of years. The most we've ever given them in a year is 20. And last year we went down to 9 after that 10% cut. Before that we were at 10. I think they're working on some good things, and I think we should always be working with them. I propose just going to 10 with them.
Their actual request was 9,000, right?
No, their actual request was 24,000.
24.
A little bit of history on this. I know when I started, I think Patty, where we had 18,000 and we cut it slightly, and that's when the library instituted the $20 fee for the.
Did they have some big project they needed help with too?
I don't recall.
Oh,
that,
no, I'm
But,
thinking of the center.
then they charged rural residents $20, and we're the only library in the state that charges rural residents to use the library.
They don't charge.
Are we the only?
Rural residents are not charged to use the library.
Yes.
They are charged
Yes.
for a library card to check out books.
And digital media and
digital
everything.
media.
Okay.
Well, just
So
to
they're
check
charged
out,
to
All the
use the
services
library,
the library does.
as long as you're there,
as long as you're.
as long as you're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can't use, like, for example, the remote library to log in to get the digital books unless you have a library card. So from what I've heard from rural residents is they don't like that.
You also cannot check out like the free pool pass,
Exactly. Or the park pass.
but
Yep.
there may be a new sales tax imposed so they can build a new library.
And we're the only library in the state, from what I understand, that does that.
All right. On to the center.
So we're doing 10 for the library? Is that correct?
What's the
Sure,
library?
10,000.
And
It's a place where you get books done.
Good, that's a good one.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh.
the
And
center,
appropriate too.
Yeah. I guess, I'm on the center. I'm an advocate for this, and I think we should keep the funding. We have an agreement with the city where we cover half of the costs of it. I know it seems like a lot, but the citizens that utilize the center every day for meals are older residents. A lot of them don't have a lot of funding to do, or a lot of money to buy food. I think this is a good service that we do for those who've given a lot to our community over the years. So I'm an advocate for keeping it as it is.
Well, they also get a lot of fun. They have a lot of funding sources. They have a lot of fundraising.
Yep. I call bingo there all the time. So.
I mean, but a lot of other organizations pretty hard in this process.
I think a lot of the other organizations that we have cut don't provide a service to assist us in reducing our poor relief and
Exactly.
stuff like that. So indigent care.
And then if
Like, this does not go to indigent care. It goes feeding the elderly, not indigent care.
Poor relief.
Mr. Chair, if I may, so I'll give you an example. I feel how it helps Yankton County. So the Meals on Wheels program and the reduced, if we can keep the seniors in their homes and healthy and getting a nutritious meal, that, in my opinion, cuts down on poor relief and all the other things. That if somebody is not getting good quality meal, they're more likely to get sick and face, other issues. So I feel this is money
Does the
well
Meals on
spent.
Wheels program work in our communities outside of Yankton?
I know ours is
sorry?
I know ours is the best in
Does it,
Yankton.
does it work outside of Yankton?
You mean,
the
do they
city of
pick
Yankton?
meals outside the
Yeah,
city?
I'm not sure the range the Meals on Wheels goes. I know they need
I think that'd be
volunteers,
good.
Ryan. if
I
you're
would guess
interested.
no.
I would guess no. I mean, we just talked about how it's not a big benefit to the greater county. This is more of a city operation.
I do know that a lot of people in the outside of the city limits
Come to.
come
Yeah,
to the center
Exactly.
to for lunch or Wednesday evenings for $6 meals. I mean.
Yep.
So.
I'm just throwing out a lot of the things why you cut other things.
I don't
And pointing
understand.
out,
I don't understand, I guess.
what I'm pointing out is, like you said, this is a near and dear thing to your heart, and suddenly you're against cutting.
44,000?
And I'm just trying to point out things that you cut, other places you cut in
Like what?
the excuses you use,
Like
like
what?
they don't serve the rest of the county. They don't
Like what?
run
What
meals
did I
out
say
to Utica, do they?
Who-
So, I'm just
You're not
pointing that
making
out.
any sense. I don't think so. I think it's a good program. If you disagree,
I guess I think if we can
that's
pour
fine.
the major percentage of our budget into support that kind of ends up with younger people,
Mhm.
we sure can put a little bit into people that have worked here for
Yep.
40, 50, 60 years.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't disagree with Commissioner Kettering. The
Can't hear.
older people probably have houses, they probably pay property taxes, and which is unlike a lot of the younger people who apparently rent and cause trouble.
So,
I said, I agree with you.
okay.
Is that a problem?
Anybody can be
Okay,
a
let's
member.
move
This surprises me.
44,572.
Yep.
So leave the next one blank. We'll figure it out when we get to
Contingency.
Did we do search and rescue and left it the same?
Yes, yep.
Court,
We all hope this is gonna go down, but I doubt it will.
well, it has gone down somewhat because we know with the closing of Simples, we've saved, this sounds horrible, saved a lot of money on translators.
So, yes, in your budget, I'm sure there's-
Unfortunately, we can't do much about the number of people who choose to commit crimes and want court-appointed attorneys.
And Mr. Chair,
Maria,
this is one of the most unpredictable budgets that we have too. It's like how many.
You mean categories?
Well, yeah. I mean, how many murders are we gonna have? How many trials? We don't know. And it's something that we are responsible for regardless of the cost and regardless of where the person comes from, so.
And keeping in mind that we only have 24 cents of every property tax dollars to allocate.
So being realistic in here, we have a $612,000 budget. 650,000 was spent in 2025, 690,000 spent in 2024. And if you take our March 31st number and take it times 4, we're at 636. All those numbers are above our budget. So is it realistic to say that that's our budget and that we're going to stay within that budget? If most of these costs are things that we have to spend anyway, and we don't have a choice on spending them.
Well, one of the things that on the year to date is, I believe we had to pay for the attorneys from Sioux Falls who represented the guy who cut off his girlfriend's head. Can't remember that individual's name, nor is his name important, but that's where a bunch of the year to date.
you know, we always have to supplement this at the end.
Tyler, what is your thought if we're always having to supplement that? I don't know if you did this budget or for court. Well, if we're always having to supplement it, maybe we should bump it up a little bit.
I did.
Do we want to go, what do you think, Ryan, like 650
Yeah, I'm just, I mean, yeah,
for court?
I think 650 might be a more realistic figure.
Well, if we're
Because-
supplementing it all the time.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't do any good to
Have we had-
budget less than we know what it's gonna be.
Have we had any more murders this year that I've missed in the
Have you
newspaper?
checked your phone?
Yes, I did just check my phone.
So far, we've had, what, 2 or 3 jury trials?
Yeah.
Those are expensive. We probably got another 1 or 2 by the end of the year.
Yeah. So I mean,
But I'm also going to say budgeting for angels is not a budget.
I think the request from
think I would deal
the
with
bar
it
was
first.
$560,000.
612.
Yeah, but
I'd propose since and since Patty says she has to supplement this regularly, we go to 650,000 and move on.
I think 650,000 is probably going to be more accurate. And that's
Yeah.
going to be,
And it's
that's
never
going to mean that
perfect.
we get a budget and hopefully we have the cuts and it's all balanced. And that means that we have a better chance of meeting that too. And
Also remember, court appointed fees, they go up faster than inflation. What
Yeah.
is it now, 125 an hour?
Okay,
Sure, it's gonna go up again.
I think it's 122.
yeah. Mr. Chair, are you okay with that? And we move on?
Unfortunately, they're not
I
paying any of
I
those
think I'll
back.
probably split that in between jury and witness.
So what number did you choose?
650.
Data processing.
Data, that sounds like a Ryan thing.
Yeah, we were still working on this one, so we'll move on from this one, but it's not that number right now.
It's that much already?
No, it's not that number. That's a
Oh.
placeholder number.
What is the number?
Is it more than 100?
Because when do we have to approve this?
We-
Well,
We're still pulling numbers together and we have another meeting on Monday too.
When
Work
do we have
through
to
numbers.
publish it?
Well, we have to have it okay. I was gonna okay it at the next Tuesday.
And that's when we want to have this number filled in.
Yeah. For the, so I can publish the provisional.
Yeah.
and Have it be ready to okay at the second meeting in September.
200,000 is our worst case number.
Is 150 or closer?
Mr. Chair, just if I may, like, I'm,
See, I think.
this is a budget that's really going up fast. I guess, I guess I got a little concerned about it and we should probably have, I'd say multiple commissioners on this rather than just one. It's
Maybe you're
probably
wrong, and
not a
then we-
good
Just
idea to
saying.
have just one person
I hope
on
you're
this
wrong.
one.
Well, that's when you
I hope
get,
you're
No, I hope I'm
first
right.
meeting or whenever you do liaisons next year.
Yeah,
We should tax the data centers to pay for this line item.
there you go.
What did you thought? Or since nobody wants data centers, let's go back to no computers, no anything in the cloud.
Ryan, for next year, I think it'd be a good idea to have probably two commissioners on this one. You're the sole guy on it from what I
Well, right
understand.
now, actually, what I'm really trying to do is work in someone from the auditor's office to be a point of contact
Mhm.
in the future.
Okay.
So,
I'd say, I think that's good. I'd have two commissioners. The
Because-
reason I say that is, some happens or whatnot. It's always good to have that second person there. To
I
run
don't think,
things
I don't
through,
think we
so-
need two commissioners. I think what we really need is a set point of contact that's not a commissioner.
Give us a number.
Is,
for
is
that.
200,000?
Let's leave it at 200.
Okay,
I'm really working on trying to have that lower.
clerk. What is clerk again?
Catastrophic legal
What?
expense, something.
Exactly, yeah,
Data is at 162.
okay. Right, that's where we're at right now.
And I
And I
guess I
think
would,
that's the only reason why that's high is because we're
Redoing.
Well,
we're
and this
getting
is,
all this
and like I
together.
said, or mentioned earlier, this is where we're pulling in things and that budget's gonna grow. We're gonna be pulling we might be pulling some things out of other budgets because we're
Yeah.
trying to consolidate the data.
I understand that, and that's probably good, but I guess I'd like to see more of a plan with that, because what it seems like now is we're just,
On
there's
this,
a lot of
that's
it.
We are working on that plan.
But it
We are
should
starting-
come through the.
You have to understand, everyone here had said history behind this. We have started this from ground zero.
Yeah.
So this is year one of building a proper IT for the county. So you'll have to have patience. We have a Monday,
Yeah,
we have a
I-
Monday
I
meeting where
get it.
we're going to be sitting down and working through that with
What
the
the Monday
IT
meeting?
professionals. Yeah.
Who?
With CSI.
Oh.
clerk is at 20,000. We're
Not
at there.
a meeting like this.
Is that what we do? for
Yeah, we
clerk?
have to, yeah,
That's
we
the
have.
catastrophic legal fund. I
Yeah.
think we
Clerk.
leave it there and move on.
ERP.
Yeah, that's the legal fund, right, through the state.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catastrophic, yep.
Same.
Predatory, that's,
Keep it 2,500.
Care of the poor relief.
Why did that number go down?
Gonna leave the animals the same.
Yeah,
we have to.
I would say that
I
that
just
number.
lowered the, just by what we spent in, I kind of
Oh,
lowered
okay,
that.
I see. Well, 2023 was 213,000. Was that big court case for Tavera?
Yeah, yeah.
So do we have another one of those?
Which
looming?
number are we on?
Care of the poor.
I thought, what happened to clerk, whatever clerk
We
is?
already did
Same.
that.
20.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying is that there has been some pretty aggressive moves on collecting court. I don't know, what do you say, Tyler? Do we see some more of that coming down anytime soon, or?
I think that was kind of a special thing, no, that
Was it?
hospital one.
Care of the poor.
The care of the poor, like the indigent medical bills. In 2023, it was 213,000, so that was.
I think the most of our, like,
I think,
hospital
wasn't that-
Medicare is jail.
Wasn't that the year we had to settle a whole bunch of
Yeah,
cases that had backed up?
Do we foresee that happening? Okay, I'm fine with it then. I'm fine with
Thinking-
I
keeping
think
it.
that's been
All
resolved.
right, I'm fine with keeping it at 200 and moving on.
and welfare, that's the homeless shelter.
I think we should leave it at 10.
Okay.
Because they provide That keeps some of those people from breaking into houses. That keeps Mr. Larson from filing charges, which keeps
A shelter now.
Keeping it
them
at,
Yes.
keeping it at
not from
10.
having
Keeping it at 10.
court-appointed attorneys.
I am a little concerned that they don't have us at the rate of the DOC people being at like a 25% success rate, but I'm fine keeping it at what it is. We gave them 9,000 last year.
10,
We gave them 10.
I believe.
That makes Wanda happy.
Well,
Smile, Wanda.
Yeah,
You won.
it's about time somebody
Homeless.
cared.
9, yeah,
homeless shelters.
So it was 9 last year?
yeah.
Why don't we just keep it at what it was last year?
I think we should move back to 10. I mean, we moved down to 9 just on that 10% cut thing.
I'm trying to avoid having more people breaking into houses to find somewhere to live, to avoid more work for the state's attorney's office.
Okay, contact 30,000.
We get checks from the state for that. No assistance.
With the contact center moving to that new location, I know their bills have increased and they'd sure would appreciate the assistance.
Well, they went from 0 rent to $5,000 a month, which seems to be a negative, not the quickest business move I've seen.
A catastrophic poor relief.
Uh,
I don't know what that is, but $2,000 isn't a lot.
No,
We spent none in 2025.
well, it's March.
We spent none in 2025.
Let's just budget it.
is,
not spend it.
that's for, is that's part of that fund that we have to pay in?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
if we get a huge bill, it's covered, and if we don't pay that, then we can't be part of that fund. So I think it's important that we maintain that.
I don't think we have a choice on the mentally handicapped, do we?
no,
Yeah.
It's been quite a bit higher than that in the past.
Our 2023 to 2025 is all
Mentally
more than 54,000.
So is this one that goes to like Aspire and EBS?
no,
Oh, this is a
this
separate one?
is just for attorneys, I believe.
I would say, I think 64.
Attorney for the mentally handicapped?
Mhm.
What? Are we actually talking about MIs or mentally handicapped people?
It's some MI hearings, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, MI.
No, they're some of those, the individuals have attorneys.
Yeah, for the MI hearings.
For mental illness hearings, they are appointed attorneys,
Yes,
but mentally handicapped, that's a
Well,
whole different
that's just.
category. That's a different problem.
I think this is your attorneys and your board members, right?
Well,
I think
no, that's under,
MI board is
MI board.
What
60,000.
is mentally handicapped?
So I have no idea what mentally handicapped is.
No.
Do we have to, is that money that we pay to like ABS?
no, that's under centers.
Okay.
What about like 60 for that? I mean, the reason I say is because
Let me,
Well,
One-
yeah, my board,
We don't even know what it
let me
is.
see what it is.
we do this every year, this one, and we always, we have to fund it. It's one of those mandates.
No, that's all under the mental health center things, according to. Pat.
That's a different law.
Well, that's where Aspire, ABS, and Dakota Abilities should be, is under the mentally handicapped. Mental health center should be the only thing under, or Lewis and Clark should be the only thing under there.
Well, the people in ABS and Aspire, they're county residents as well, though, yeah.
They're mentally, the mentally handicapped.
Yeah, but by statute, we have to provide support.
I know, but I'm saying on the sheet of paper, it's in the wrong category.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not saying we don't have to fund it. I'm saying it's in the wrong spot.
Think of the handicapped people, Wanda.
I am every single day.
HSC,
I'm sorry?
HSC, Human Services
Oh,
And that's for people that were,
that are
Yeah.
in there.
for
Yeah.
people that were residents that get sentenced
Yankton
to
County,
there.
HSC.
Or it might even be people who committed a crime here and were residents, so yeah, there's,
Can we move on then
Yep.
to mentally health?
do we want to keep that at 54? Because the reason in 2024 and 2025, it was both higher than that. I know there hasn't been a lot of expenditures
I
this
think the
year,
new
but
facility though, is-
I'm sorry?
no,
I
no,
think the new facility will be better than.
this is for people who I think are sentenced to like correct? It's not?
That are involuntary or voluntary.
I think it'd be wise to put it at 60.
I could go with that. Let's put it at 60, move on,
Yeah.
because it's been over that
60?
recently.
Yeah.
60. All right, move on.
Mentally health services,
I say we give Dr. Stanage his $108,183. Because it keeps people out of
Yeah.
Lincoln County where we have to pay extra money every month. And I don't think we have any choice on
No,
ABS, Aspire, and Dakota Abilities.
keep them all the same. Move to.
okay, MI board,
At the mental illness board.
That's the one where the,
Do we want,
as
what are the numbers doing on this, Wanda and Tyler? Because we've been a lot higher than this in 2023, 2024.
they're down from what they were
Where?
years ago.
Yeah,
But according to this, as of July, we were at 41,718, so
it fluctuates. We utilize a lot of regional care facilities now, so
it's down.
HSC numbers are down.
Back in the day, there were days when we would have 17 or 20 hearings in a day. Now it's a big deal to have 6.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't bump this up to at least 65, because
No,
we could be over that number.
no.
I think I'm okay with keeping it where it's at.
All right, move on.
My understanding is the 20,000 on the top line is the mead.
Mhm.
We're gonna leave that at 20 grand, historical sites.
I think that's a tax levy, I think.
No,
What?
this is
No,
in
this is
addition.
for the Mead Building and Kramer Canyon.
This is in addition to their.
Is that in addition to?
in
Yes.
addition to the levy.
Oh,
$22?
We did 20 last year, didn't we?
yep.
Yep.
I don't know. I think you have to, again, some of the arguments for cutting from the other things that we've cut. Just think about what those arguments and then try to apply that without bias here.
And they do also bring people to the city where I'm hopeful that we will have a 0.5% sales tax.
Okay, 22, soil. 30, they requested 30,000.
For them, this is just a grant, right? So,
Well, no,
or
We're actually saving quite a bit because there used to
Right.
be a full-time employee and all of that. And we did in good faith tell them that if they took this on, we would give them
Contribute.
some contribute for a time. So, you know,
okay, drainage, 500.
yep.
This is the jail building fund we don't put money in it anymore, but we did put 25%.
And what was the reason that we stopped doing that? Because we,
Because it was getting too high
okay.
and not spending it.
So what,
When you don't spend it, doesn't the state want it?
what is the dollar amount that's in there now? And the reason I asked that, well, I'll let you get that number.
So are we,
The reason I asked that, Don, is remember when we had that big plumbing problem in
Yeah.
the women's pod? And luckily we had money in there to fix it, or we'd have had to abandon that whole area. It was like $400,000 or $500,000 to repair that, if you remember.
we on the jail building?
Yeah, she's getting the numbers. That building's 20 years old now, and it's, if we can use
And if you look at
funding out
the,
of that.
if you look at the building supervisor's
Mhm.
stuff that's
Mhm.
in the book,
Mhm.
he has some proposed
Mhm.
projects in the year 2027, including the roof of the building apparently needs some attention. On your special list? The jail building?
Oh.
It's not on this.
Now
special
we
list.
get down
No,
to
it's not.
the
because
tough stuff.
another-
I'm sorry,
Now we get down to the tough ones.
which one is that? Highway?
Highway and emergency management. That's the way this shows it, but you know, it's really part of the whole package. Everything's got it. But if we're gonna balance, the expenses that we have up here, you take that red amount.
86,
that-
What?
586.
586?
In the jail.
Okay,
building.
I'm fine with not putting funds in there. That's plenty of money.
This is expenditures that we might take out of there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And this is anything that needs to be done by the
And
jail.
that's 40,000.
so that roof
So we're-
project and stuff.
We're supposed to
come
put
off.
40,000 in there?
No, that's coming out of the 578.
There's no revenue goes in there anymore.
I was just
Yep.
wondering where on the special piece of paper.
Oh,
So like
it's not in there. It's,
I know, I noticed that.
It's
So I was,
history on that fund, I think Patty, is that's where Sheriff Velakis went to commissioners after it was built, and they put a percentage of the marshal holds and the revenue into a
Yep.
fund. So when,
25%.
yeah, large repairs needed to happen, there was funds to do it. So this is a smart idea.
Can I,
I know.
make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
I would suggest, that we, cut this off. We have Patty prepare another sheet like this with the changes on it.
Find out where we are
Okay,
and find out where we are.
Don't we just have like 2 departments to do and we'd be done?
we got 2 departments to do, but are we gonna cut the highway by $2.5 million?
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't,
I would say let's continue. We did the mental health centers. We got opioids
You
and
can
let's
do that, we can do that, but we aren't even close.
Isn't opioids money coming in?
yes.
It's not a money going out thing, so.
So I think and to your point, if we get through,
See you tomorrow, Mr.
then we
Larson.
add up where all of these what, and then we see the gap. And then that's where we can start next.
That's what I said.
I agree with you.
Okay.
You're a pretty smart guy, Don.
Well, and why is it that everybody is arguing about it then? Under that theory, I would move that we adjourn this meeting and take it up next Tuesday when we have updated numbers.
We're not gonna go through the highway or emergency
When do we have to have this in
management
back?
budget.
We
What's
have
the
to
point
prove-
when we don't
We're
know how
gonna
much we have
approve
to
the
cut?
Provisional next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
And
Yeah.
now remember,
That's the provision.
we have to approve it, but you can do any changes by September, the second
The
meeting in
meeting, whatever
September.
that is.
Well, I would suggest we meet tomorrow or the next day then, or Saturday or something, but need to get to the final point here.
We should probably set the next meeting date or we adjourn. While we're all here.
Why don't we,
And I do want to remind you guys that 2 million that we have to buy legislative audit. This is a balanced budget.
So
It's unlike a business budget. I agree.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to know also, in whatever you could prepare, Patty, is, Dan said there's a $1 million grant that's almost locked in.
On what?
Didn't you say there's a $1 million grant almost locked in for
You're,
something?
you're
I
talking,
didn't say that. I wish that was the case. For what would it be?
It was one of the first ones we were looking at.
you were talking about the Marshall holds and the
Oh,
contracts. with
Marshall
Marshall holds.
holds, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that.
That's
we
not a
can't
grant.
depend
That's
on
not a
that.
grant. That's just a
Yeah.
Yeah,
revenue that you get in that we don't count.
we could use it as a,
But
as a guideline to let the people know why we're making these decisions. If we cut $2 million out of the roads,
Well, here's the problem. Everybody wants good roads, good bridges, law enforcement and ambulances. Nobody wants to pay for them. Nobody wants their taxes to go up. So it's going to be painful because there are people that don't want to pay a little bit to just attribute it to the roads. And I get that. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. So let's just let the roads fall apart. Because that's,
Until they hit a pothole and then they
Did we
complain.
actually
That's
adjourn?
or perhaps the people that drive.
economic development, that'd be a disaster.
I understand that, but you also have people who are driving.
Time out.
Like 5 million already out of it. And
Okay.
if you don't want to, if you want to cut 2 million, then you're gonna have a lot of people complaining and bitching about not having their roads done. And if they do, and if that levy doesn't go
We're gonna
through
call it
the
a day.
road bridge,
It's gonna be a problem.
it's a hard thing to do, but you guys have to decide.
Okay, we gotta schedule our next meeting and I would propose, being the next Tuesday evening, we have a regular meeting. Patty wants to have the provisional done by then. I would propose that we meet at 4:30 next Tuesday,
Next when?
Tuesday.
I can do it at I can't do it at 4:30 next Tuesday because I will be in
John?
court in Sioux
That's
Falls,
like
but
the
if I'm
finance
driving
meeting.
back, I could be on the phone.
I could only listen to one person.
I want to
So-
explain something.
Schedule it at 4:30 and I will be in court and then when I'm driving back, I will participate by phone.
Okay,
Why-
Brian, you
but-
gotta say.
See, I'm not gonna have enough. If you change anything more on Tuesday, why can't we just, what you've done today? I will make the changes, I will present it on Tuesday. Now you have 2 weeks. Well, actually, September. I have it scheduled for you to approve September 18th. Now you can still do changes on that day. Because I'm not gonna have enough time if you meet at 4:30, if you get it all ready. for
Or
6 o'clock.
Because Tuesday, we
6.
just need the provisional. and
Yes.
That needs to be
Just,
published.
yes,
It's not the final.
no. The final is September 18th.
There's a financial committee.
Meeting it. Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be recording both meetings.
right.
Mhm.
I forgot about the,
Why don't you do the financial one so people can understand what the issues are?
They
well,
don't- they
so then we don't have to have another meeting,
I
special meeting,
was hoping that we would hear from the financial task force before we did this,
before you leave.
because I'm
So
sure
we're
they've
good
got
with
some
not having another
ideas
meeting.
and thoughts.
So
Well,
no plane afterwards.
We would still
A
have
moot point after
time
we go.
after the financial
Right,
task
so,
force to make changes.
Yeah.
right, so
I move to adjourn.
Second,
so I have a motion by Wanda, second by Ryan to adjourn. And all in favor, aye,
Aye.
aye.
opposed nay,
Nay.
Was
Motion
it still
carries.
on?
You want to keep